Hey guys, this is Greg with Apple Explained, and we are live. At least I hope we are. Let me know, as always, if the sound is okay, if the video quality is at least 720p, and then we can get started. Just like every week, this is going to be an Ask Me Anything where you can ask me questions about Apple, YouTube, or me personally. And the chat is already rolling. Slipknot, they said, hey, new to the channel, do you ever get tired of talking about Apple since your whole channel is based off explaining Apple? I never do get tired of talking about them. It's my favorite company. I've always been sort of obsessed with Apple ever since I was a kid, and I always wanted to talk about them, and it was always hard to find someone to talk to about them who was interested. So yeah, I've been doing it for quite a few years, and I'm not tired of it yet. So again, if you want to get your question answered for sure, because as you can see, there's already over 100 people here, make sure you send a super chat, which is a donation through the live chat box, and that will highlight your question, so I'll answer it for sure. Or number two, you can join our Discord server, which is totally free. You just have to be over 13 years old, or 13 or older. And then after each live stream, I go over to our Discord server, and then everybody posts one question, and I answer all the questions in a Q&A video over there. So those are two ways to get your questions answered. And thank you guys so much for joining us this week. We already have some super chats. Let me make sure I get to those before I miss them. The Best, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said, what's your thoughts about COPA? I'm not sure what COPA is. I'm going to Google that right now. I have my trusty iPad with me that I use. Oh, that's the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, which is, it sort of addresses all the issues on YouTube lately with children's content that hasn't really been child friendly, but sort of acts like it's child friendly. Is that what it is, or is it not? Am I confused? Does this have to do with the new rules on YouTube? I'm not sure. Obviously, I don't know much about it, but I think it's probably a good thing because I know at least on YouTube, there's been a lot of issues with companies collecting data from children who are watching videos and then using that data to advertise to children, which is sort of like a loophole through a different law where you're not supposed to advertise to children. So yeah, I think it's a step in the right direction, because now whenever I upload a video on YouTube, I have to mark a box that says this is not children's content. Like that this video is not meant for children, which my videos aren't meant for children, so it doesn't really affect me too much. Flame Lion said, what are your thoughts on Pokemon Sword and Shield? I actually just bought Pokemon Shield 2 days ago, and I haven't gotten the chance to play it very much. I only played like 20 minutes into it. But so far, it looks amazing, and I really like it. All right, let me get to Firas Abueda. Thank you for that $5 super chat. They said, what do you think of the 16-inch MacBook Pro? I actually just went to the Apple Store in Tokyo yesterday to check out the MacBook Pro, since now they're carrying it in the store on display. And it's a good update. I don't want to sell it short because the technology inside of this MacBook Pro is incredible. Up to 8 terabytes of solid state storage. I didn't even know that was possible in a notebook. So great technology. The thing is, it's not the big update that I wanted it to be. I was hoping for a big design update with like really thin bezels with curved corners of the display. I was hoping for a kind of an updated design. I was hoping for an improved touch bar. I was hoping for Face ID. And we didn't get that, which is fine. I'm hoping that means that next year Apple is planning that really big update. But I think I'm gonna hold off on buying it because my current MacBook is only 2 years old, and it's essentially, when I use it, it looks the same as this new MacBook Pro. And when I'm in the US, I actually connect my computer to an external monitor. So I don't even use the keyboard on my MacBook Pro very much, only when I'm, abroad or when I'm traveling. So that improvement isn't really that big of a deal. But the speakers and the microphone on the new MacBook Pro is incredible. What Apple has done with the speaker and microphone is amazing. Sheldon Williams, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said, have you gotten the MacBook yet? No, like I just said, I probably will pass on this one, and then I'll buy next year's model if it is that really big update that I am hoping for. TitanTube, thank you for that $5 super chat. I'm glad to see you back this week, Titan. They said, I'm sorry I missed last week's stream. I'm upset. I was in New Hampshire on vacation. Oh, I hope you had a great time in New Hampshire. I have never been there, but I've heard it's beautiful. Gurjian said, when are you coming back to the USA? I will be back in January. Slightly Below Savage, thank you for that $2 super chat. And they said, do you support dolphin abuse? I think you sent this question last week or 2 weeks ago, and I still don't understand what the question is. I don't know if it's a meme. Obviously, I don't support abusing any animals, so I feel like I'm missing something. Catch Dylan asked a good question. He said, what's the most significant Mac update in your opinion? I remember the most transformative, shocking update to the Mac that I can ever remember was back in 2001 or 2002 when the first iMac G4 came out. It was a really revolutionary design compared to the G3 that had been sold for so long. And I'll never forget the shock of the audience's reaction when that Mac was revealed. Man, we have a lot of super chats. Let me make sure I get all of them. TitanTube, thank you for that $20 super chat. That's very generous. They said, I have a question about the AirPods Pro. How does the noise cancellation actually work? Like, how is it able to be turned off? Please go into detail. I'm not an audio expert, but here's what I do know about noise cancellation. It works by having an external microphone and an internal microphone. The external microphone picks up all the ambient noise, and then the internal microphone picks up what's inside your ear, so it understands what noise is coming from the outside and what noise is inside your head. And then the noise that's coming from outside, it will actually play that same sound it's receiving while it's receiving it. And then when the microphone and that playback of the same sound meets each other, it cancels each other out. Does it sound magical? Yes, it sounds magical. Does it make sense? No, it really does not make sense because I'm not an audio engineer. But that's how the technology has been explained to me. That the noise comes in, and then the headphone actually plays that same noise, and they clash, and then it disappears. That's all I know. It's pretty magical. And it can be turned off because the microphone that's receiving the sound stops working. It just turns itself off, and then all that ambient sound passes through the headphone without being canceled out. TitanTube, thank you for that $5 super chat. Again, they said, make sure to check out the Lose You to Love Me video shot on iPhone as well. It's such a good song. Is that the Vanessa Hudgens song? Is that is that who it is? I forget. Molly Smith said, what do you think you should use if you want to start a YouTube channel, like for editing? What apps do you use for editing? If you're starting a YouTube channel, what's more important than the tools are the concept of the video you're making. So you can pretty much edit, you can do video editing on a MacBook Air. You can do it on a MacBook. It's going to be slow, but you can do it. It's possible. You can edit a video on your phone, really. You can do it on an iPad. So the tool nowadays isn't as important as it used to be. Because it used to be you needed a really powerful computer to do video editing, but because technology has come so far, you really don't, unless you're doing really advanced 4K stuff, which you probably aren't if you're just starting YouTube. So what I would say, start with whatever you have. And instead of focusing on buying a new computer or whatever, a microphone or software, focus on the concept of the video you're making and make sure it's interesting, make sure it's unique, make sure it's something people will want to watch, and then figure out how to get it done. Now, will you have to use software? Yes, I use Final Cut Pro, but you can probably use iMovie. When I first started making videos, I used Keynote, like the slideshow software. I didn't even use video software when I first started making videos on YouTube. So it's really about the idea and then just executing on the idea with whatever tools you have. TitanTube, thank you for that $5 super chat. They said, there's a lot of super chats here. I have some competition. Yeah, we've been getting a lot more super chats as I've been doing these live streams. TitanTube, thank you for that $5 super chat. They said, I don't have a MacBook, but what are your thoughts on Catalina? Catalina is buggy. I've experienced some issues, just weird stuff. Like when I'm skipping through a YouTube video, you know how you can press the right arrow key and it jumps forward like 5 or 10 seconds? It will play the noise, the error noise, like boo, 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 boo. The noise when something like cannot be done, when an action can't be completed. It will make that noise even though it's working and it's skipping through the video. Weird things like that is happening in Catalina. When I upgraded to Catalina, my Pages software to write videos, it would stop autosaving. It would say this document cannot be autosaved. And then I have to make a new document, copy over all the text I just wrote, resave that document, and then the next day it would happen again. And I just have to keep doing it. So there's a lot of issues. It's kind of disappointing. I kind of wish I wouldn't have upgraded. I wish I would have stayed with Mojave a little bit longer, just to avoid all these issues that I'm having. TitanTube, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said, Nick Brito, what's the chat you want me to send? That sounds like he's replying to someone else. TitanTube, thank you for that $1 super chat. There's no message with that. Pinch Soft said, how did you get big on YouTube? Well, if you go to my YouTube channel and you sort my videos by oldest to newest, you can see some of my first videos and how they performed. The channel really got popular when I posted my first history of the iPhone video. Now I think it has like 20 million views or something. But it was my first video that got to over 100,000 views. And then it actually got me quite a few subscribers. And it sort of started, it got my channel rolling. The Best, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said, what's your thoughts on the new Motorola Razr? Yeah, if you guys haven't seen, Motorola came out with a sort of an updated version of the classic Motorola Razr flip phone from back in the early 2000s. It was one of the best-selling cell phones ever, and I think Steve Jobs used a Motorola Razr. Um, Except the updated version is basically a full display that folds when you flip the phone shut. And then it has sort of like a preview front display on the front of the phone when it's closed. And I think it's an interesting concept. I think it's a cool demo product. Like, just to test it out and to use it would be cool. But I'm not understanding the functional benefit. Because I guess you could say, well, you can fold it shut so it's half the size in your pocket, but then it's double the thickness in your pocket. Also, not only is there a notch, but there's also a huge chin at the bottom, just like the old Motorola Razr, which kind of makes the phone longer and just bigger in general. There's still not a headphone jack, so that's not really a benefit. So I'm just not sure, like, why would I get that instead of a typical smartphone that doesn't fold shut? Because usually when it comes to folding smartphones, you can fold it open and get like a tablet sized display, but that's not the case with the Motorola Razr. So it's interesting, but I just I don't see who's going to spend $1,500 on it. Titan Tube, thank you for that $5 super chat. He said, my dad lives in New Hampshire, so I go there often. Interesting. Windows XP. I got a super chat from Windows XP. Thank you for that $2 super chat, Windows. They said, what is your favorite version of Windows? What is my favorite version of Windows? Well, I don't use Windows. I never have used Windows. But I just for nostalgic reasons, I think Windows XP is my favorite version, because I mean that's just what I have the most experience with. That's what I remember from my childhood. When I would go to a friend's house, you know, they all had PCs and it was all running Windows XP. So that's I have fond memories of it. Titan Tube, thank you for that $2 donate super chat. He said, and I accidentally donated $2. Writer Animations said, do you think AirPods Pro are way too expensive? No, I don't think they're too expensive. I actually think they're a really good deal. I mean, consider, I bought my over-ear Bose headphones with noise cancellation for $350, and the sound quality on the AirPods Pro and the noise cancellation is probably like 70 to 80% of those Bose headphones. And you have to consider they're more comfortable, they're smaller, they're more compact, they're easier to travel with, they're more convenient. So in my opinion, AirPods are a better all-around product, and they're $250, which is $100 less than the Bose headphones. So I think, considering the technology, they're a good deal. All right, I gotta get to these super chats. There are so many super chats, I cannot keep up. Wow. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate the generosity. I can barely keep up with... Oh man, I hope I didn't miss one. I may have missed one. Titan Tube, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said this channel is very helpful. Let me know if I missed a super chat, because the chat is not letting me go any further back. Titan Tube said, are you a VSCO boys? VSCO boys. I don't know what that is. I'm looking it up right now. VSCO girl. Is it like a basic person? Like, is that the new slang for a basic boy? I don't even know what it is, so that's definitely not me. Okay. Titan Tube, thank you for that $10 donation. They said, how long are you being where you are right now? This is the third stream you've been, I believe, in Tokyo or wherever. Yeah, I think this is like the fourth Tokyo stream I've done. But the first one, I didn't show the window in the background. But I've been here for about a month. Windows XP, thank you again for that $2 donation. They said, how did you get big on YouTube? I already answered Pinchsoft earlier, how I got big on YouTube. My first video that got really popular was the history of iPhone video, and that's what sort of got my channel rolling. It got it going. Titan Tube, thank you for that $2 super chat. Oh, Selena Gomez. It's the Selena Gomez song. I said Vanessa Hudgens. I don't think she's even relevant anymore. Selena Gomez. Titan Tube, thank you for that $2 super chat. He's talking to someone else in the chat. Titan Tube, thank you again for another $2 super chat. He said iMovie rules. Yeah, iMovie is pretty capable for a free video editing software. Titan Tube, thank you for that $2 super chat again. He said, how's life going? It's going really well. I'm really enjoying Tokyo. The weather has been amazing lately. When I first got here, it was really rainy, like every day was raining. But now it's like almost sunny almost every day. Michael Schiabarassi, thank you for that $10 super chat. I really appreciate it. That's very generous. They said, what do you think about using an iPad Pro as a laptop replacement? There are many people who can get by just using an iPad. If you're only doing internet, you're doing internet browsing, checking your email, maybe even writing a paper, I think you can get by just using an iPad. And if you're especially like an artist or an illustrator, or you're taking notes, you may be better off using an iPad Pro with an Apple Pencil rather than a laptop. So yeah, unless you're doing something really crazy like video editing or something where you need a computer, you can probably just use an iPad. Titan Tube, thank you for that $5 super chat. He's talking to Alex, which is our moderator. Titan Tube, thank you for that $5 super chat. He's talking to someone else in the chat. Titan Tube, thank you for that $2 super chat. He's again talking to someone else in the chat. Sheldon Williams, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said, have you had any pets? Do you want any now? I personally do not have any pets since I've lived on my own. Now, when I was a child living with my family, we had a lot of pets. And do I want any pets? No, not really. Titan Tube, thank you for that $5 super chat. He said a while ago, Markiplier sent a video on how YouTube is banning people who send some emojis. Oh, that's weird. Nick Brito said, do you feel like the macOS interface is outdated? I wouldn't say outdated, but it's getting there. And I think it could use some, it could use a little bit of something just to make it a little more on par with iOS 13. Because iOS 13 introduced more like card interfaces is what I call it. And so maybe if macOS could incorporate that somehow, it would look and feel a little bit more modern. Titan Tube, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said, did you fix your lamp lighting? I couldn't find any lights from the stores that I visited. They don't really have ring lights here. You have to get them from Amazon, and I can't get anything shipped to where I live. So I realized that if I turn my phone a little bit off of the window, it will expose my face. because if I turn it all the way to the window, you see how my face gets really dark because it's exposing the window, but then if I turn it back, yeah, that way you can see me better. And then I don't have to use a light. Eduardo Hamada, thank you for joining us again. I recognize your name. And they said, oh, they actually sent me a 490 yen super chat. They said, do you believe Apple will launch a foldable iPhone? I don't know if they'll launch it. I think eventually they'll have a foldable iPhone or something of that nature, but they're not going to launch it until they know for sure that they did it correctly. There's some functional advantage to having one, and it's at a price point that makes sense. I don't think they're going to launch a $2,000 iPhone because that is just too out of reach for normal consumers. But maybe they'll make like a super luxury $2,000 folding iPhone, but they won't make it unless it makes sense. And I don't believe that will be anytime soon. Ooh, man, there's so many super chats. Titan Tube, thank you for that $15 super chat. They said, my super chats are taking over this stream, and I just found out that emojis take up 2 characters for these super chats. Titan Tube, thank you for that $5 super chat. They said, what are your thoughts on the iPhone 56 Pro S10 Max Super? Yeah, the naming scheme is getting a little bit long. Celia said, what time is it there? It looks bright out. Yeah, so I'm in Tokyo, and right now it's actually Sunday at noon. So if you're in the US, it's Saturday night, but here it's the next day. Titan Tube, thank you for that $2 super chat. Titan Tube, thank you again for that $2 super chat. Very generous. Windows XP, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said, where are you staying in Tokyo? I'm in a neighborhood called Akasaka, and it's sort of in the middle of downtown Tokyo. It's a very convenient location. I actually live next to a really beautiful park. Titan Tube, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said, do you know anyone who has an iPhone 4? I don't. I have not seen an iPhone 4 being used in several years. Alex, our moderator, said, VSCO boy is a fashion trend, and it's pronounced Visco, not VSCO. Visco, okay. I guess it's a fashion thing. That makes sense. I'm not into fashion, so I have no idea about that. Golden Age Majestic, thank you for that $5 super chat. They said, you like Star Trek. I don't really like Star Trek. I've seen a couple of the new movies, but I don't really follow that franchise. John Lowry, thank you for that $5 super chat. They said, your videos are very well researched and produced. An Apple employee. Oh, John Lowry is an Apple employee. John, are you a retail employee or are you a corporate employee? I'm very interested to know. Titan Tube, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said, will I be punished if I spam super chats? I mean, I don't think super chats are considered spamming. Titan Tube, thank you again for that $5 super chat. They said, how long does it take to make one of your videos? It depends. So one of my video essays can take like 15 hours total. My animated slideshows can take 20 to 25 hours, just depending on which one. And my video reviews, I mean, those can take like 15 hours also, from start to finish. M17 Games HD, thank you for that $5 UK super chat. They said, thinking of getting an Apple Watch Series 5 for Christmas. Do you recommend, Greg? Yeah, if you have the money in to spend, you're not looking to save money, then it's fine. It's fine to buy the Series 5. But just to understand that the Series 5 and the Series 4 only has one significant difference, and that's the always-on display. There's also a compass in the Series 5 Apple Watch, but I don't know how useful that will be for you. So just consider how much a used Series 4 Apple Watch would cost compared to a new Series 5 with taxes. And then just ask yourself, is that price premium worth it for the OLED always on display? It might be, it might not. If not, then you can save some money buying a used Series 4. Titan Tube, thank you for the $5 super chat. They said, Greg, do you want Discord Nitro? I pay for Discord Nitro. I pay $5 a month because that is how I'm able to upload the Q&A video every week. So thank you for the offer, but I already have that. Critter Kaysen said, sorry, Greg, I'm broke. No problem. You do not have to send super chats. Ma, hello, Ma. Thank you for joining us this week. I think you have been with us for almost every single live stream. They sent a $2 super chat. They said, have you seen the 16-inch MacBook Pro and tried it? Yeah, I went yesterday to a Apple store in Tokyo to try the new 16-inch MacBook Pro. And the speakers are amazing. The microphone is amazing. I can't really tell that the display is much bigger. And it doesn't feel much heavier. The keyboard is better. I definitely like the new layout of the touch bar. I like the physical escape key. And the internal improvements, the internal upgrades are great. But it's not the significant upgrade that I wanted, so I probably won't buy it personally. Titan Tube, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said, what does the R in 10R mean? No one really knows. No one really knows. Apple doesn't officially say what it stands for. Like the iPhone SE, people assumed it meant special edition, but Apple never confirmed that. So no one really knows. Titan Tube, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said, can you show a 360 of your setup right now, or is it private? That would be private. Ooh. Titan Tube, thank you for that $10 donation. That's very generous. They said, did someone say Samsung when you said 2000 phone? Yeah, Samsung, that's who I'm referring to with the $2,000 Galaxy Fold. Yeah, Titan Tube, thank you for that $2 donation. He said you're over the date line because it's Sunday there. Yes, that is true. The Best, thank you for that $3 donation. They said, what are your thoughts on the new Disney Plus? Yeah, Disney Plus service just launched, I think, a few days ago. I checked out the website, and they offer a 7-day free trial, and I'm going to use it. I just don't want to use it yet. I want to wait until there's something that I want to watch. But I think it's a great deal. It's only $7 a month. And if you're already using Hulu or ESPN Plus, you can bundle that with Apple or with Disney Plus. And I think it's only like $14 or $15 a month, which is a really good deal for all those services. Titan Tube, thank you for that $5 super chat. Windows XP, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said, what's your favorite pizza toppings? I like pepperoni and sausage. Those are my favorite. Michael Schiabarassi, thank you again for your second super chat of $2. They said, do you think the HomePod will survive? I think it will. I think Apple's going to try to iterate on HomePod. They may try to release a lower cost version like a HomePod Mini or something, but it's selling okay. It's making Apple some money, and I think the technology is there. They just have to tweak the product to get it like uh, cheaper, because it's not competitive right now with other smart home or smart speakers like Alexa and Google. But I think it'll be around for a while. Titan Tube, thank you for the $4 super chat. John Lowry, thank you for the $5 super chat. They said, I'm a technical advisor with Apple Care, so not retail or corporate. I'm in the third area of Apple, the Apple Care division, at home advisor. That is interesting. You know, I've heard some interesting stories about what you're calling the third area of Apple. It sounds like you are not employed by Apple directly, or are you? Because sometimes they use like Apple Care representatives from like a third party contracted company. And because they're contractors, Apple doesn't have to give them benefits. Apple doesn't have to give them, you know, the perks of a full-time employee. And I heard there's a kind of like a dark side to that, but anyway. Titan Tube, thank you for that $10 super chat. I appreciate it. Titan Tube, again, thank you. Titan Tube, again, thank you for that $5 super chat. And I just lost my place. Titan Tube. Thank you, Titan Tube, for being very generous. Oh, Titan Tube said he doesn't like MacBooks. That's the only thing he doesn't want from Apple. That's interesting. I think MacBooks are one of the best notebooks on the market. The Best said, The Best, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said, have you ever tried a Popeyes chicken sandwich? I have not. When I was in the US, the whole Popeyes chicken sandwich thing happened and it was a big deal. And then I left. Oh, no. I didn't want to try it then because it was still popular and the lines were still really long. People were waiting like 45 minutes to get a sandwich. And I said, I'm just going to wait until it dies down and then I'm going to try it. But then I came to Japan, and here there are no Popeyes. So I have to wait until I go back to the US in January in order to try it. But I am looking forward to it. Titan Tube, thank you for that $5 super chat. Lorenzo Vergara said, will you do a history of iPhone speakers? Probably not. I don't know if there's enough to talk about with iPhone speakers. Although I did do history of the iPhone's camera. Maybe I could make an updated version of that video. MA said, don't risk your life for Popeyes. Kay said, did you get the MacBook Pro 16-inch? No, I think I'm gonna pass on this one. I want a big upgrade MacBook Pro with like Face ID and with significant design change. So hopefully next year we get that update, and then I'll definitely jump on it. Ma, thank you again for that $2 super chat. He said, Titan Tube, the cash machine. Yes, definitely. And Titan Tube, thank you for that $5 super chat. They said, I don't know if you saw, but I sent you a Discord Nitro anyway. It's the $10 one so you can boost the server. Oh, thank you. I don't quite understand what it means to boost the server. I don't know if it makes it faster, like it gets more bandwidth or something. But thank you. I'll definitely check that out. Thanush Reddy said, will the next iPad Pro have good build quality? I think this iPad Pro has good build quality. I know people were complaining about like bending issues, but I don't know how widespread that actually was. I mean, I understand that they bend easier because they're so thin and then it has this little magnet area right here, which is sort of like a kink in the structure of the aluminum frame. But I don't think it's as big of a problem that it was made out to be. And if you want an iPad Pro, I recommend buying this generation. I don't think you're going to see any quality issues. TitanTube, thank you for that $5 super chat. They said, guys, we need more likes in this stream. Everyone like this stream. Danny said, what are you doing in Tokyo? I'm just like hanging out. I really enjoy being here. I like living here, but I can't. I don't have the visa. So I just stay here as a tourist for a few months when I get the chance. John Lowry, thank you for that $5 super chat. They said, I am employed by Apple directly, not a third-party vendor as it's called. It's just that Apple Care is not considered corporate or retail. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Wow, that's very interesting. I have so many questions for you. Like, I want to know, if you're not Apple corporate, does that mean you don't work in Cupertino? Like, do you work remotely in a different state? You don't have to keep sending super chats. I just have a lot of questions about it. The best. Thank you for that $3 super chat. They said, do you think there will ever be another 17-inch MacBook? You know, I'm not sure. Maybe if Apple can totally remove the bezels on the MacBook Pro, maybe they can fit close to a 17-inch display without it being much bigger. But Marty Smith said, do you own a Nintendo Switch? I do. And I just bought the new Pokemon game. I just haven't gotten the chance to play very much of it yet. TitanTube, thank you for that $2 donation. He said, my iPad Pro is the best. Yeah, I really like my iPad Pro. MA said, has Apple lost the design edge that made them a titan in the mid-2000s and the innovation that made them gods in the 2000s in general? No, I think Apple's design has only gotten better. It's only improved. And I think we're seeing that with the new MacBook Pro. I mean, when Jonathan Ive was with the company, the MacBook Pro was shipped, or the MacBook was shipped with a faulty keyboard, and it was a faulty design, and Apple didn't catch it, and they shipped it, and it was one of the biggest quality control mistakes in the company's history, and they fixed it. I think that's a step in the right direction. Now, if you're talking about design in terms of how it looks, I think Apple products look better than they ever have. I think Apple products has always looked good, but there's always going to be different design eras. Like, Apple products used to be all white. It was called the Snow White era. And then it sort of transitioned into the aluminum era. And now we're still kind of in that period, but except with some glass. And I think we're seeing some more angular designs than what we used to see with Apple. That could be influence from Mark Newson, which is a new addition to Apple's design team. But Apple's hardware design team has always been the best. They still are the best. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. TitanTube, thank you for the $2 donation. He said it's not Titan Tune, it's TitanTube. TitanTube, thank you again for that $2 donation. They said, what size AirPods Pro do you use? Yeah, so I actually use the ear tip, that's the biggest one. So I use the large size. Michael Schiabarassi, thank you again for that $2 super chat. They said, why do Windows PCs suck so badly? I think it's a combination of a few things. Windows, I think the Windows operating system is inherently bad. I think the hardware, PC hardware, is just cheap. It's difficult to find good quality PC hardware because they're all trying to make the cheapest computer possible to sell as many as possible. And they just don't care about the quality, they don't care about the details, they don't care about getting the little things right. I think those are some of the fundamental problems, in my opinion, with the PC and Windows platform. TitanTube, thank you for that $5 super chat. They said, do you mind showing outside the window? Yeah. I will show you outside the window. That is, I don't know if you can see it. That is Akasaka, which is a neighborhood in Tokyo. I have a really good view out of this window. Usually in Tokyo, if you stay in an apartment, you know, your view is just like a brick wall because it's the building next to you. TitanTube, again, thank you for that $5 super chat. They said, so what are you going to do with this money now? Still buy food? There's actually a product I want. I wasn't going to talk about it because it's sort of weird. So I was in Japan. I'm in Tokyo, obviously. I was walking through a neighborhood called Ginza, and there was a Sony store. I went inside the Sony store, and there was a robot dog, okay? Robot dog. Let me show you guys a picture. It's called Aibo, and I kind of fell in love with it. I kind of fell in love. That's what it looks like. It's super cute, you know. It's very cool. It moves like a dog. It has, you know, it fetches its bone. It plays with the ball. It's very advanced technology. And I want it. And I'm kind of saving money for it. So this money that I'm getting will probably go toward me buying that super expensive robot dog. John Lowry, thank you again for that $5 super chat. He said, no problem, I like supporting your channel. I really appreciate that, John. He said, I work from home in Northeast Ohio near Cleveland. John, I don't know if you know this, but I'm from Ohio. I live in Columbus. It's very nice to see a fellow Ohioan on here. That's very interesting. That's very interesting to know. Eduardo Hamada, thank you again for that $250 yen or 250 yen super chat. They said, you have to try Tokyo's amazing restaurants. Yes, I have tried a couple, but you're right, Eduardo. Tokyo has the highest concentration of Michelin-rated restaurants in the world. I mean, Tokyo has some of the best food in the world, and I definitely want to try as much as possible. TitanTube, thank you for that $2 super chat. He said, Greg dissing on Windows. Look, I understand some people love Windows, and they like it for certain reasons, and I understand. I'm not saying Windows sucks and no one should use it, just to set the record straight. The Best, thank you for that $5 super chat. They said, am I the only one who prefers the butterfly keyboard? Also, do you think macOS will ever become open source? No, I don't think macOS will ever be open source, ever, ever, ever. Just like I don't think iOS would ever be open source. Because, I mean, Android is open source, and just look how fragmented it is. I mean, it's killing the platform, in my opinion. And Google doesn't know how to solve the problem. They've tried several times to solve the fragmentation issue, and they can't. And the butterfly keyboard, I do kind of like how it feels. I'm getting used to it. But it's undeniable that it's a fragile keyboard that breaks easily and is not fixable by the user. TitanTube, thank you again for that $5 super chat. They said, what camera do you use for your videos and streams? I use my iPhone. And for my videos, I use my iPhone. So yeah, pretty good camera in the iPhone now. Ma, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said TitanTube could buy everyone in this chat a MacBook. That would be a Oprah moment. Eduardo Hamada, thank you for that 250 yen super chat. He said Michelin star restaurants for $10. Yeah, that's true. Japanese food here in Japan is actually pretty affordable. Even like the really nice restaurants, it's pretty affordable, especially compared to the US. Marty Smith said, which version of Pokemon did you get? Or both? I didn't get both. I just got Pokemon Shield. And I decided because I went to the best-selling games on the eShop, and I wanted to see which version of Pokemon was more popular, and the Sword version was more popular, so I bought the Shield version instead because it's less popular. TitanTube, thank you for that $10 super chat. They said, oh my gosh, I know that dog. I want it, but it's really expensive. I know exactly how you're talking. Yes, I think it's like $3,000, which is kind of ridiculous. TitanTube, thank you for that $2 super chat. Loser Media Group said, I'm also from Ohio. That is awesome, you guys. OSU, Ohio State football is doing pretty well, aren't they? Undefeated so far, I think. The Best, thank you for that $15 super chat. They said, you deserve that dog. Thank you, The Best. That makes me feel better. TitanTube, thank you for that $2 super chat. Yeah, okay. MA said, there are loads of amazing dogs available for adoption that will be much less than $1,000 and will actually love you. Let's make this clear because it's very important to understand. A robot dog is not a real dog replacement or alternative. It is a piece of technology. People think that if you're interested in a robot dog, it's because you want a dog. That's not true. You want a robot dog because the technology is incredible. So this is a technology product. This is not a pet. So this is not saying instead of real dogs, everyone should get fake dogs. Please don't misunderstand that. This is wow, these robots are incredible, and it's great if we can support companies who make this incredible technology so they can continue to develop it. I'm all for adopting pets. If you're going to get a real dog and you want a real dog, obviously a robot is not going to give you the experience of an actual pet. Tech Wizard said, how was the plane ride to Tokyo? First class. Definitely not first class. It was the cheapest economy ticket I could get. But the plane ride wasn't too bad, honestly. It was okay. TitanTube, thank you for that $5 super chat. Abdul Rahman Al-Wadani said, what's your take on Apple glasses? Are we going to get them soon? Well, my take is the rumors we've seen are interesting. Supposedly, there's sort of two Apple glasses going on right now. There's the glasses, which is supposed to come out, I think, in 2023. And then the headset, like a VR headset, that's supposed to come out a year before. I think that's where the rumors still are right now. They've changed a couple times. But it's really, really interesting because I'm not sure what Apple is planning on doing with them. I don't know if the headset is going to be like your typical VR headset that you only use at home as like a gaming console sort of thing. And then for the glasses, I don't know if that's going to be something like an Apple Watch where you always wear it. You wear it everywhere. And I don't know how it would look. I don't know if people would want to wear glasses. I don't know what they would. I just don't know, because when it comes to things like glasses, people are very particular, especially fashionable people. They don't want to look nerdy. They want to look cool. So it's very important for Apple to get this right. And I think that they can do it right because they did the Apple Watch right. Michael Schiabarossi, thank you again for that $2 super chat. They said, how has your Apple Card been working? It's been working great. I've been using it here in Japan because there's no foreign transaction fees, and I haven't had any problems. It's just that there have been a couple times when I've given them the Apple Card to pay for something, and then they look at me and they're like, is this a credit card? Like, are you sure this is a credit card? Because it doesn't look like a credit card. It looks like a gift card or something, but I'm like, yes, trust me, just do it. It's gonna work. Titan Tube, thank you for your $2 super chat. They said, what's open source? It means that the source code of the software is available for anyone to edit at their will. Titan Tube said, do you have any more questions for me? No, not really. I did put on slow mode. It's one message every 15 seconds, I think. Titan Tube, thank you for that super chat. They said, do you play Minecraft? I do not play Minecraft. I play Mario Kart, Pokemon, Splatoon sometimes, and Super Mario Maker. That is up to you, Titan Tube. That is up to you. The best, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said, do you think robots will ever take over the world? I think it is artificial intelligence is dangerous. I think it's developing rapidly, and as it continues to develop, there is a chance that it can become dangerous and sort of get out of control. And it's something I think that should be taken into consideration when developing these technologies. Eduardo Hamada, thank you for that 250 yen super chat. They said, have you tried Cosmo from Anki? It's very funny. Yeah, I've never tried Cosmo. I have seen a lot of videos, and its facial expressions are actually pretty cool. It reminds me of like a Pixar character. But yeah, it seems pretty entertaining. Cryptic Blaze said, which Apple Watch do you own? I actually have the Series 5 Apple Watch, the aluminum version. Glenn Joseph said, does Apple Card work anywhere? Yeah, so Apple Card is sort of two things. It's on your phone with Apple Pay, and then it's a physical card that you can use for places that don't have Apple Pay. So if you use Apple Pay, you get like 2% cash back. But if you can't use it, if you can't use Apple Pay, if it's not available where you're shopping, you can use the physical card and that'll give you 1% cash back. So when I'm in Japan, I can't use Apple Pay because they use a completely different wireless payment system that is not compatible unless you have a Japanese-made iPhone. So I have to use the physical card everywhere I go. The best, thank you for that $2 super chat. They said, do you think the new Mac Pro will be made in the USA? I think, was Apple trying to get it to the USA again? Because I know it moved back to China with the new version. But I think they said something about trying to get it back in the US. I'm not sure. We'll just have to wait and see. It might stay in China, now that I think about it. Lorenzo, the next king, said YouTube is deleting all small channels that don't make money. YouTube deleting channels. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about YouTube deleting channels that has hateful content. Oh, I see. YouTube says it can delete your account if you're not commercially viable. Interesting. I'll have to look into this. That's very interesting. Huh. Although it is important to point out that YouTube is a private platform and they can kind of do whatever they want, which is scary. But I don't think it's right to delete a channel just because it's not making YouTube money. Because, and I don't think it really makes sense from a business perspective, because at one point my channel was not making any money. It wasn't making money for years and years and years and years. It took a long time for me to make any money. So it's kind of stupid for YouTube to delete a channel like mine back then, because they're eliminating any potential for the channel to become successful. So that doesn't really make sense for me, to me. Nick Brito, Greg, have you ever had a girlfriend? I have had a girlfriend, but I am single right now. Seon YT said, can we collab on a video? I don't do video collaborations, but if you want advice on videos or something, I can give you advice. Cringe Light said, are you wearing Gucci? Does this look like Gucci? No, this is like from Kohl's, I think. Or no, from Old Navy. Michael Schiabarossi, thank you again for that $2 super chat. They said, do you think we'll get an Apple self-driving car? I don't know. I'm not sure what Apple's doing with the car situation. Rumors have sort of been, they've sort of died out this year about the car. Supposedly they're working on self-driving software, like self-driving technology. We don't really know if they're working on an actual car, but I'm very skeptical that they would make a car. I wouldn't be as surprised if they tried making self-driving technology and then licensing it out to other manufacturers, like car manufacturers. All right. So I have been on for an hour, but I still have super chats I need to read. The Best, thank you very much for that $10 super chat. They said, it kind of does make sense that YouTube would delete a channel that doesn't make money because they have to store the servers, which costs a lot of money. Yeah, I understand that storing videos on servers does cost money. But they also have to understand that channels don't become popular overnight, and it takes a long time for a channel to become profitable. I don't know. I think it would just be a hard call to make. It would be hard. Okay. All right, let me do one more question. Glenn Joseph said, what was the issue on the Apple Card when you told us in the Apple Card unboxing video? Yeah, so if you guys didn't see my Apple Card unboxing, when I first got it, it worked fine. But then like a week later, it was blocked. Like I couldn't use it anymore and I didn't know why. So I had to call Goldman Sachs. They were very weird about it. Like they were like, you're being investigated to verify your identity. And then they said any documents you can send us that you think will be helpful toward the investigation would be fine. And then I said like, what documents? Like my birth certificate? And then they said, any documents you can send to us would be fine. And it's really weird. The whole thing was weird. So I'm just like, okay, screw this. I'm just not going to use the card. And then I had to make the review video. Like I was in the middle of making the video when this happened, so I had to put it in the video. I had to say something about it because, I mean, it's crazy. So I made the video, and then a week after the video was published, they unblocked my card. I could use it. And they didn't call me, they didn't text me through the wallet app. They just unblocked my card. And ever since then, it's been fine. So I don't know what the problem was. I don't know if there's a misunderstanding. I don't know if they had to verify my identity somehow. I don't know if I didn't fill out the application correctly. I mean, I'm not sure. They never followed up. So, but luckily I can use it now and everything turned out okay. There's another super chat. TitanTube, thank you for that $5 super chat. They said, will you ever be on Discord? After this stream, after every stream, I go on Discord and then answer your guys' question. So if you guys did not get your questions answered today, go on Discord, join our Discord, go to the after stream tab, and then post one question. Everybody gets one question. And then I will be there after this video ends, and I'll answer all the questions in a Q&A video that I post in that thread on Discord. So be sure to join us there. Thank you guys so much for joining this week. I really appreciate all the super chats. You guys were very generous today. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys next week.